It's your girl, Miss Connie, coming to you every Wednesday at 5 p.m., discussing the levels of intimacy. What's your naked truth? Stay tuned in to stay turned on. See you at 5.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot1025fm.com. Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows. Live 24/7. On hot1025fm.com.
This is Miss Connie from Levels of Intimacy. You're tuned in to Hot 702.5 FM. It's your girl, Miss Connie. I'm back once again for another Hump Day, Wig Wednesday. Yes, I'm back in my wig. And for Happy Hour. Today, Levels of Intimacy wants to welcome you all in. We're going to have a serious topic for conversation here about culture and just stepping out of the box. That's what this talk show is all about. It's being transparent, being comfortable to make decisions that are not a part of the traditions. Okay. Welcome everyone in. Hopefully you are in traffic on your way home from work or sitting still, grabbing a cocktail because you know I'm going to have a laugh or two, but I'm definitely going to pump you full of information, okay, and plug you with resources as well. Today, I do have a returning guest. Yes. And Carmen Sandiego is on time. Welcome to the show, Carmen Sandiego. Yes, my friend. She showed up. Welcome back, Miss Carmen Sandiego. Thank you for showing up for me today. How was your day today?
Hey, girl, it was great. It was a little busy, but
okay.
We did what we needed to do.
Always good to be productive.
Always.
So, what's crazy is normally I drop a few commercials throughout the week to let you know what the topic is. So I was a little bit late this week with the topic because I had to make sure that people were going to be present. And unfortunately, the one, Tarena, who we would like to have here, who was going to speak more in depth about the topic, isn't here. But you know what? That's okay because we don't like to be talked to as a culture of people. We like to talk to people who know what they're talking about. So if you haven't dropped or seen my commercial drop, this week we're talking about ayahuasca. Okay? Please make sure you drop in the comment if you are not familiar, if you want more information, because this show will follow with a scheduled ceremony. Okay? So we will put that in also. Hey, Tamani. Hey, Rhonda. Welcome to the show, ladies. I forgot my fan. Rhonda brought me a hot flash fan, and I freaking forgot.
What's a hot flash fan?
Girl, something that was going to last.
Yeah.
Okay. Like an old lady gadget. And I done forgot it. I'm just sitting here looking at myself just glow up once again on camera.
Shout out to the people with personal summers.
Okay. Yes. Look, you know I got to spend the first 7 minutes of the show talking about how hot I am. But you know what? I do have this wig on today. It is a Wig Wednesday Maven Day today. And honey, I was not going to show up out here like a good Tyler Perry movie with my lace lifting in this camera and watch myself over and over and over again on YouTube. So I took that cute little belt and turned that boy into a headband. Ow. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Because although I've melted this, the hot flash and the heat.
Oh, God. Help us, oh Lord, to be a protection.
There's no
be a fence.
Yeah, there's no salvation for this life over 50. Hey, but I'm loving it and I look good. I'm in a good health stage. How are you feeling? Like,
you know, I actually feel good. I feel like I'm mellowing. Like it's an interesting place to be in, especially having done the ceremonies and whatnot. I was actually having a conversation with a former colleague of mine that's known me since I was 18.
Okay.
And we were having a discussion about just where I was at career-wise.
Okay.
And by the time we got about halfway through, she was like, God, you sound so good. She was just like, I don't know if you know how fast you used to talk.
Yes.
And like, right now you're just measured and it's just, and it's not like I don't have those over-the-top moments, but they
normally are followed with a glass of wine.
Shot of tequila. A cigar too. It's like all this other stuff.
Once you shake a little bit and have a sip, then you go into. It starts to speed up a little bit. But right. I definitely will say, knowing you, how many years? Ooh,
a hot 50. I think we had about 15.
Yeah, we're about 15 years. Yeah. You have definitely. I listen, guys. I brought Nina on the show, so. Just to get into the topic, because I want to, I had a whole format, because I want you guys to understand what ayahuasca is if you are not familiar with that term in itself. But I definitely want to let you know how I have my friend here on the show to talk about it, because this is why it's good to be social, be amongst people, be amongst intellectual colleagues who are talking about different things, because it's simply started from a conversation. And you said something and I was like, oh my God, my friend just did ayahuasca. Fabian Miranda, shout out to him. Congratulations on your new salon. Fabian Miranda, yes, he's located off Las Vegas Boulevard in the South Premium Outlets. He was the first person who kind of tapped into me about shaman, like what a shaman was and what ayahuasca was. And I was like, you know what? I think I saw that with Kevin Bacon, The Following. Like, that's kind of, because that's
like
that
9
ignorance.
Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, like, oh, that caught. Yeah, like when they take you out in the woods and, like get you high and basically Diddy would have titty you. But,
what?
No, this was my perception of what ayahuasca, like, why would I go out to some woods and drink some soup and space? No. But... hence, piggyback off the conversation we had this morning about listening and engaging and understanding before you reject the information.
Yeah.
So he was the first person, and you mentioned, like, I'm thinking about doing ayahuasca. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, perfect. I got a black friend. We gonna both go do ayahuasca together, girl.
Then she left me. She didn't do it. She was like, girl, I ain't going.
Girl, I'm going to pull up. You go there, get the money.
Like, what?
And I'm going to be in the car.
Jesus' name.
Hence, she has had the ayahuasca experience. I have not.
Right. We're going to get it this year, 2024.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it.
I think I'm ready. I was going with the excuse that I'm allergic to mushrooms. Because everybody's like, oh, it's like a mushroom. But this is what you don't know that you think you know when you are uneducated in these certain topics.
Right.
So first and foremost, I definitely wanted to tap in and just explain to you guys exactly the process of the ceremony. So before I go into the whole Webster definition of ayahuasca, what was ayahuasca to you, for you, and how has that first, let's say, how was it to you, and then for you, and then we'll follow.
It was, so first of all, like I am the person that has no problem trying something, right? And I was just like, oh, a friend had introduced me to mushrooms, and I tried that, and I felt like somebody put an anchor on me and sat me in the bottom of it. I was like, wow, I feel really dense, and nothing actually occurred like I thought was going to happen. Like, I'm thinking I'm going to have this whole DMT kind of trip experience, and I'm going to go, beyond, wherever beyond was. I thought I was on my way there. I didn't go anywhere. I sat looking at the sun like, I'm so bored. Like, Jesus, when is it gonna happen? What's gonna happen around here? And it did not occur for me like it occurs for other people. I think the friend had given me such a low dosage of it that it didn't actually do anything. And so then like a couple of months had gone by, and I started doing like vague amounts of very peripheral amounts of research. And I forgot what the name of the one that starts with an I. But for all the Billions fans out there that love Bobby Axelrod, when him and Wags are in the tent with the Native American shaman, and he goes running out to like throw up and all that, and they have to go catch Wags, I was thinking, oh, that seems interesting. Like, not like, oh, that seems dangerous and someone's running out in the middle of anywhere. I just thought, I wonder what that experience must be like. So, and then like a few months later, like over the course of at least the last 18 months, it had been sort of like a drip campaign where I'm thinking, I really am feeling like there's something sort of missing. Like, I want to experience this other level of like heightened alignment. And so someone had mentioned ayahuasca to me, but just kind of in passing. And then you and I had the conversation, and we're then at your event space after that. So we were at the salon, then we ended up going over to the event space, and then you called Tarena.
Exactly.
But I didn't know Tarena was Tarena. It was just you were talking to her. So there's a voice.
Right.
And we're having this whole conversation, and she's like, oh, okay, get my information from Connie. I'll send you this and that, and the third. This is the name of the church. And that was literally all I had. And then we ended up never talking again for months. Like, I think that might have been, it was December when I went, so it might have been like October or September when that all happened. And when we first had the interaction, and she was sort of breaking some generalities down for me, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to do it. We were talking about it. We were like, we're going to do it or whatever. And it happened to be December 1st and 2nd, which is the top of our birthday month.
Right.
And so
I had an event.
You ended up having an event,
Yeah.
but at the time when we were talking about it, we were just sort of talking like, okay, this will be great. We're going to put this on the schedule. I'm going to cleanse myself. Like, I'm over, all this stuff that's going on. So in my mind, I think it was a way to sort of press the reset on my way into 2024 and get to this next plateau within my life. Like, I thought, okay, this is going to sort of bridge the gap. And
so wait, let me just interject real quick. So I became, there's a quote that my psychology professor told me is, when you become interested, you become interesting.
True. You always said that for 15 years.
I have always said that. When you become interested, you become interesting. So it came from my coworker. And I was just excited to watch him because I've known him for about 8 years, and watching him on his journey. He's the same age as my son, and just in the profession and just grow. And he's kind of like the Mexican male me. That's what we always say, because he's Latino. And I'm like, he'd be like, how did you know, Connie? I'm like, because you're a saucy black girl. Like, and I'm a Latino. And so we would have these jokes. And when he went, I could tell he changed. And I was like, he was like, dude, like, listen, Connie. And we've traveled together. We've been to Puerto Vallarta. We vacationed together, me and my coworkers. And look, so like, this is my friend. And it was like, yo, like, no, I'm like this. And boom, he ended up getting a salon. And then he had a little bit of a setback and was a little bit discouraged, and he went again. And the next time he went, and he was just open. I could tell he was open to receive, not question, not doubt.
Yeah.
Like there were doors open. You can tell, like, layers peeled back where and as in reading the research, it says that healing is not so much physical. Sometimes it's forgiveness.
Yeah.
And just forgiving himself, I think, of showing up as who he was authentically and portraying to be something else. So, and now he's successful. And he does attribute that to that ayahuasca ceremony or experience. So my question for you is, being of African descent, we are always like, pray about it, go to church. Yeah. Is this about a spirituality thing that you think, or were you going deeper? Like, what made you like, I need ayahuasca?
Well, so for me, okay, so first of all, let's just break down. My mom, my family, they are from the South. My grandmother is from Louisiana. One of my grandmothers is from Louisiana. And so for me, it was sort of that you always understood plant medicine. Like, if you have a good grandma, a Medea, a great auntie, if you were lucky enough to have your great grandmother in your life, which I had that as well, then you learn about how certain herbs heal you.
Exactly.
Right? So it wasn't like I didn't understand that. And then I have the friends that call my mom a witch doctor because she's very much into it. Like, she can tell you, like, you need whole leaf chamomile. It's way more potent than the Bigelow's tea bags that you get in the store, right? Or dandelion root and marshmallow root and all these things that help heal, like, inflammation, or it helps to heal, your lungs. And especially once COVID happened, it was like, listen, we're gonna run down all the herbs, and you get to a real health food store, not a GNC, not any of that. You need to go in where they have.
You need to go to Peru. Gotta go to the Amazon.
And so for those that are in Las Vegas, shout out to the good Herbally Grounded, because they have the big old huge
Herbally Grounded
Tivana canisters of stuff in there, and you go and you mix those things together, and it'll get you all the way together. So I've kind of always grown up with that background with the tinctures and the understanding of plant medicine. And then I had a fascination with Chinese herbal medicine as well.
Always the truth.
You know what I mean?
Always.
Because as a person that has rheumatoid arthritis and Sjogren's syndrome, beta thalassemia, I'm a walking anomaly all the time. Doctors are constantly fascinated. So it was like, okay, well, let me learn more about how to take care of myself, how to heal from within. So it's more of a holistic journey.
Okay.
And then I came across the ayahuasca aspect of it later, recently.
Right. Because a lot of people think it is ayahuasca, but that's the plant. That's the
It's
tea.
a vine.
Yeah, that is the formula in which you drink. So starting from the beginning, so you mentioned on your way there, you thought you were going to be,
that was with the mushrooms. I didn't know what to expect with ayahuasca because I didn't know anyone who had done it other than the guy at your shop.
Exactly.
And so when he was just like, it's just great. And I'm like, okay.
You're like, yeah, I'm here
That's
for
enough
it.
for me, right? Like, okay, there's a human that I have seen that knows how to do it. Complete Sagittarian.
I just realized.
No, we're not. Not
Okay.
today.
I know.
Maybe so, though, because that's all that's there, right? Like, okay, so in another story, once upon a time, I'm standing at a place and I'm like, I just realized I'm white. Like, I'm dipped in chocolate. But your girl is a Barbie.
No,
like,
you're a
legit.
coconut.
I'm a coconut.
You're a coconut.
I really am. I talk proper. I have great diction. Everybody's like,
She's
what?
a coconut.
What is going on? And I'm like, hey, this is me. This is who I am.
I heard that term the other day from my Jamaican friends.
And I thought,
and it was
God.
like, yeah, she's a coconut. I'm like, what's a coconut? They're like, you don't know what a coconut look like. Brown on the outside, white on the inside. I was
Shout
like,
out to Dion.
Nina is a coconut.
Look at here, just because I like to read.
No, we do.
And research.
Yeah, we all do.
Abstract information. And,
we do. We are a very informative circle.
Exactly.
Okay, so
I get in it. So this is how kismet, serendipitous this whole entire situation is. Tarena and I have that conversation. That has to be September. We do not talk again, ever. After this, I'm constantly talking to Connie like, hey, I need this phone number. I never get the phone number. I don't know what happens. I had reached out to the group that's having the ceremony one time. So they had my information. They told me in Paris, California. And so shout out to Claudia and Hector. And
shout out to Bernalyn.
Oh yeah,
because
sure.
actually I think it was Bernalyn, and then you ended up going with Tarena.
No, you just introduced me that night on the phone.
To Bernalyn or Tarena?
To Tarena.
Okay.
And so...
Oh, because I kept trying to call Bernalyn and I couldn't get her.
And then you sent me someone else's information.
Yeah, because I know a few people that were involved.
So what was so crazy was like I had this strong draw to go to Paris because you had sent me the other person's information. I called them and I was like, something just didn't feel right. And then I ended up talking to a girlfriend of mine. Shout out to Dr. Renee Cromer in Fresno.
Shout out to Renee.
And so she was just like, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to cancel. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to let it go, or I'll wait and go next time you go or something. She was like, no, if you have a strong feeling to go, there's a reason, there's something that's calling you to that, then you need to follow that to its end. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Let me make that up in my mind. And at that time, I would say that like just a tremendous number of things were going on in my world at the time. I felt incredibly like annoyed, disappointed, like that work wasn't necessarily going as well. Like I'm thinking things are going to increase there. I'm having all this other turmoil. We had a number of deaths in the family. Like there was all of this stuff and there weren't like that core group of people that you would think would be there for you.
It wasn't that healing circle
at all, right? And so I'm thinking, dang, I just want to cut all of this off and like reset. And so, but I still hadn't been able to reach Tarena at the time. So then the individuals from that group had Tarena's information, reached out to her. And the crazy part is I had just put my car in the shop. I was getting my car back, but I had a puncture in the tire. So I was fixing like the engine or the transmission in the car, get the car back, but I still have the spare on it. And it's a full-size spare. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm just going to roll out. And this might be like the last extra 350 I got to be doing this. I'm going to roll and I'm going to go because I feel like I need to have this experience. So even if I have to sleep in my car, this is what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. After I have that thought, they had reached out to Tarena. Mm-hmm. And gave Tarena my phone number. Mm-hmm. Tarena calls me. I'm at work at the time. I'm like sitting across from my broker and we're trying to have this conversation and I'm thinking, I don't know who this number is. Something was like, pick the phone up. So I picked the phone up and I'm talking to her and she was like, hey, I understand that you're looking to go to the ayahuasca ceremony, and she introduces herself with her like Tarena. Mm-hmm. But I can't remember what you had called her before. So T, right? Yeah. So I hadn't connected the dots that she was the same person. And I'm thinking, this seems so weird. She was like, yeah, they said that you were going to need a ride because your car was out. And I'm thinking, that's crazy because I just got my car back. Mm-hmm. Like, no? And then as she kept talking, her voice became familiar. Mm-hmm. So I had asked, I was like, because I was trying to get off the phone with her. I'm like, I'm at work. I'm not trying to have personal calls right now. Like, I got to go. But then it just clicked. It was like, God, her voice sounds so familiar. I was like, you know what? Do you know Connie? And she was like, or Constance Mitchell. I just use your whole government name, right? Because she's using her government name. We're going to use all the government names right now. So I'm like, do you know Constance Mitchell? And she was like, Connie. Right. Yeah, she does my hair. I just saw her yesterday. I was trying to get your information from her. I didn't realize that you were the same person. Yes. And I was just like, wow. She was like, girl, just come park your car at my house. And we'll just ride together.
Drive to Paris, California in her Rolls Royce.
True. So I now have hopped in a car with someone I have no knowledge of, right? Like, it's not like I spent time building a relationship with her over 3 months. It was just like, get in the car and let's go. Girl, I leave my cell phone in the back of my car. My personal cell phone. I had my work phone and only had my mom's number and my ex-boyfriend's number memorized. Mm-hmm. That was it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, dear Lord Jesus.
You know Connie, though.
Right. I was like, this better not be out of the scene of Wrong Turn. I'm the only black person going. Like, oh, God, sweet baby Jesus. What have I gotten myself into? My mom's like, text me the address. Let me know where you're going. And people, she's like, drop a pin. I'm like, a what? Because I don't even know how to do that. So
air tag or pin
all y'all with the iPhones,
called, right.
Y'all like, drop this, do this, send this over here. I don't know how to do any of that. Listen, I'm going to holler at you. And so we get there. First of all, it's December in Wilderness, USA. Like, it is cold. So I do know that part. Like, you need to dress in layers because you're going to be outside. You are outside overnight starting at like 8, 9 p.m. We're already there. And they give you a set of instructions like 10 days beforehand. So you're not eating red meat. You're not eating dairy. You're not having sex. You're not drinking. You are like supposed to be meditating. I'm going to yoga.
You pure.
You are really trying to clear yourself out. Because the one thing that they do tell you is that you're going to purge. And in my mind, I'm thinking, ooh, I do not want this to be rough. Because throwing up is already hideous.
Yeah.
But trying to throw up everything you ate in the last week would be horrible. So I was like, let me follow every one of these instructions without fail. So we get through this whole thing. I get there, and I'm starving, girl. We stop at a Starbucks, and I'm like, let me get a protein box. Like, I need carrots, apples, something. So I'm like snacking, and we get on site, and immediately when we get on the grounds, like my body just relaxes. It was just like you have entered a sacred space.
But you know what's so funny? Unconsciously, the fact that you left your phone.
Yes, so I'm not tied in. Mm-hmm. And granted, I have some stuff on my work phone, but it's now 5 o'clock at night on a Friday. Like, no one's looking for me.
And you're writing with strangers. So
and I am writing with strangers.
Pay attention to what's going on in real life.
In real life. Like, how did we get here? Which turn do we make? Like, I have a great sense of direction.
So you reach Paris, California about what, 7:30?
We get there about 6:30.
Okay.
That night.
It's just an hour and a half?
It was, I take that back. We left around 3:30.
Okay. I thought it was like 3 hours away.
It's about 3 hours. So we left about 3:30. Get down there. I have like extra blankets. I have my clothes. I have my little bag. We had intended to do the ceremony for the 2 nights. So it was a Friday night and a Saturday night. And when you're researching it, there are all these exotic places to go where you go and you stay for a week. Mm-hmm. When you're doing it, stateside, you don't have to do all of that. You can just go to the ceremony. Mm-hmm. So we go to this place on 6200 Yucca Road. That's like all I know. Or it's like 62-100 or something.
Turn.
Yeah.
Without the monsters.
And it's the night, so you can't see what's on the grounds. You can see that there are houses that you have passed, but then you enter this entirely open area, and all you see are flames going up, like a bonfire.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, Jesus Christ. And the way it pings on the GPS is not exactly what it is in real life, so I am high alert now. Like,
right.
Okay, wait a minute. Why are you backing up and going through this gate? Why are we going down over here? And it's like you go over this road and then you see like a few cars. I'm like, God, this seems hella odd. Just a little. And then she finally like parks like, okay, we're here. And I'm like, here.
Wait, this isn't on the wave direction thing? Like,
it's not on Waze. It's not on GPS.
I'm trying to pin my location and I'm not able to locate
anywhere.
The location.
And so then we get in and I'm thinking, okay, there's these people and they are... they're like, hey, they're very welcoming. There's this huge tent and all the sacraments and everything are inside the tent. And there's water and places if people want to have a really rustic experience, you can sleep outside, like on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, ooh, it's cold, because even at 6:37, it's starting to get, it's December.
Yeah, and it's California. California is brisk.
We are nowhere near water. And when I tell you, it is like, ooh, it is like being out here in December, January, February. It's very cold, like that 32-degree kind of weather because it's very arid where we were. Moreno Valley, for those that are from there. And so I'm like, let me put on an extra pair of like yoga pants and I'm throwing on like an extra shirt. I have 2 blankets and all this because you're going to be sitting in a chair overnight from essentially 9 p.m. to about 5 a.m. so that you can have this whole experience with you. And so when I get there, I'm like incredibly relaxed.
So how do they welcome you in?
You're waiting on everyone to get there. So we're there so early that everyone has not yet arrived. The first night there was a group of maybe 20 people, let's say 15 to 20 people, a very small group. Okay. So everyone is basically around this bonfire, that campfire that's been made. And so once Taita Hector gets there, who is the shaman, there's going to be a shaman. They are going to like bless the sacraments. They are going to mix everything, make sure that everything is mixed and ready for everyone. And then they are going to sage the entire space and around the entire encampment, basically. Mm-hmm. And so now you kind of know, okay, we're about to get started. But for whatever reason, I am so relaxed without having taken anything. I'm like starting to sleep almost. Like I am sitting in the chair and I'm like dozing off and I'm like, wow, I have never
been so relaxed.
Ever.
Right.
Like getting on an airplane before it takes off on the tarmac is the closest equivalent.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, wow, that's strange. So then about 9 o'clock, he starts the whole speech, and there's a person that's translating, because pretty much everyone there is either speaking some form of Spanish or English, but primarily everyone is speaking. The person that's orchestrating is speaking Spanish. So the translator is there. They give the rundown about what's going to happen. There's a huge welcome, and then they go and they prepare the rappy. So rappy is like a tobacco powder, and they sort of shoot it up your nose. For those that don't know,
Whoa.
I was
Whoa.
freaking out because I'm seeing people do it, and I'm like, I don't like this. Like,
Okay.
So it's not even like you get to
Hold on, coconut.
breathe it in. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on, coconut. You lost me right there. Say now what?
So it's called rappy, and it's a powder, and the powder allows for the receptors, like in your brain or your body or whatever, to relax, so that the ayahuasca binds with the receptor in your brain, essentially. And so it's what helps you to have the necessary reaction is the best way that I can explain that. And so
but did you see them prepare this, or this was already made when you got
it's
there?
a powder. It's literally a powder. There's nothing to prepare. It's
like
a powder.
cocaine.
I don't know. It's not. It's brown. It's hideous.
Okay.
And when you inhale it, you'll never forget it, because it's just like, ooh, when you do it. So once that happened, and I thought for the experience, I'm going to try, because you don't have to. A lot of people don't do it.
Right.
But
Because you said you wouldn't do it the second.
I would not. I did not.
Yeah.
The second night, I was like, because the head trip I went on, I was like, Lord Jesus.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, all right.
We going too far.
So she
got the rappy, guys. If you're just tuning in,
right?
She's there. She's there for the shaman.
I'm now blowing my nose.
Ceremony, this ayahuasca ceremony, the rappy, RAPPI, right?
Yeah, never
don't
mind. Make me lie.
Right,
it's on my phone. I have it, but so you take that first, and then they give you like a shot of the ayahuasca.
Oh, drink.
Yeah, to take.
Okay,
Yeah, it's in like a small, tiny
on.
cup. It's not a lot. Like, it's not like they call it like a tea mixture, but it tastes like dirt and cacao chocolate. Like, it's very earthy.
Gritty.
It wasn't gritty. It just was earthy. Like, it's like a thick milk chocolate, but bitter. It's very bitter. If any of you have ever had like Padiaco tea or anything that is made from a bark, it's that with like sort of this, the chocolatey taste was the only thing that I could liken it to. That really pure chocolate. That
and how
bitterness.
was that swallowed? Was it a dry?
No, you
have to
drink
follow it with
down.
water?
I did. I was like, they're immediately pouring it. They're like, here you go with the little dispenser behind you. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, let me get 2 of those. And then once that's over, you just go and you sit down. And within minutes.
At the fire?
Absolutely. Yes, because it's cold.
Right.
And your girl was like.
So everybody's kind of lined up.
You go over to get that.
The rappy, you get the drink, and then you go have a seat.
No, you have the rappy first. Everybody goes through that round. And then they tell you, okay, go ahead and come over and you get your shot. So it's a 2-step process.
Okay.
So once you get through that, you're kind of sitting down at the fire. And for some people, they're in a prayer, sort of meditative state. Other people, like for me, I was kind of watching the flame. And then once I was watching the flame, it sort of like took off.
That's what you told me.
It was like...
You were hearing conversations that you had throughout the week.
Listen. I am sitting there and I sort of fall asleep. Like I'm staring at the flames. I'm sort of in a prayerful kind of a state because Terena kind of prepared me in that respect that, you know, hey, along this drive down there, like, hey, you know, you want to start to set your intention and what you want to come out of it. And the ayahuasca plant, Renee, when I was talking to her about it and she was sharing her experience with me, it is like when people talk about like Mother Earth, the plant is like Mother Aya. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of go through this journey with this plant medicine kind of coursing through you that it's not harsh. It's not. It's sort of like this gentle sort of awakening that you're going to have. It sounds crazy, but...
Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
E says we lost her with the snorting the powder. It wasn't a snorting.
No, I don't breathe it in. They blow it.
No, they literally like blow it so...
Think like a pipe.
a cough. Like like a pathogen.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Indians, like when you see them through the dust,
Yes.
and so
it's
you're
like
so
that.
close that you're gonna get it in your eyes, your face, your nose, your
you
mouth.
don't. It's a pipe that has two prongs at the end of it. They take the part that has the two prongs and scoop, sort of, and it goes into just that portion. And then at his end, he blows and it pushes it up your nose. So it comes to your nose, your nostrils, and this person is standing right here, and they blow and it shoots up. It was crazy.
Girl, they would have been like, get the dark-skinned girl, take her to the back, because she gonna blow everything. Because I'd be like,
And then you immediately want to sneeze it out. Like you do, but by the time you decide, like you've recognized what happened and you want to sneeze, it's already where it's supposed to go. Think of like those nasal pump
think
things.
about like when, yeah. Okay, I was about to go someplace. Yeah, that's a lot.
It was a lot. No lie. Because I was like...
So did we miss a part where there was a signing of a disclaimer, or there wasn't any level of sign? Oh, well, when you paid, you signed.
You do all that online.
Okay, guys.
That
Because I
happens
know
up
there
front.
had to be some paperwork involved
It's
here.
not a whole lot. You agree to everything. You click I agree, and then you pay. You pay your donation.
And so we didn't discuss that.
Okay.
So what was the pay?
So for them, it was $250 for if you only did the one ceremony. Now, because I just saw the newest notice, if you do 2 nights, then it's $450.
Okay.
And so at that time, it might have been like $200, and I think I paid like $350. What happened?
He said, nah. I thought you wanted to go to Peru. You know, they going to really blow it up on your face. If you go over to Colombia, you go someplace.
I had been researching.
Yeah.
So I had researched Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica.
And Terena is in Colombia, so that's why she's not here. She was supposed to come back. I don't know if she made it back yet. But she's been in Colombia for 2 weeks. But prior to that, she was in Peru.
And she's done them like 20 times. By now, it's been like 20.
Keeps doing them.
It is so interesting. So my head trip has me in a maze. Like I love mazes, so I don't know if that was the thing. I'm so anxious. I'm the only first timer. Everyone else has had some version of an experience before. No one else is Black, so it's just me. And I'm like, oh dear God, it's kind of like being on a roller coaster where your stomach is like, okay, we're on the way up, 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 and now you're here, and the only way out is through. It's that moment. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna get through this. And so I take that first shot. Within about 20 minutes, it kicks in. So I'm seeing this maze, and it's like golden and brown and black, and it's like shimmering, kind of like the Warner Brothers emblem when it shows the movie. It's like that.
No, it's actually like Scooby-Doo, because that's what they were on. Like if you go back and you really understand what Scooby-Doo, that's what it was. They were on mushroom trips, so they wouldn't really be seeing things. They would be high.
Well, my eyes are closed, so I'm only seeing what's in my eyelids. I can't tell you what other people are doing. Because I relax watching the fire, which I'm thinking is where the gold color is coming from. And I sort of just fall asleep. But you're awake. You're not like,
Almost
I'm in this deep slumber.
Like an anesthesia.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like a local anesthesia where you're just calm enough, but you're fully aware of
Not
everything
deep.
happening around you. And so you can see all the people, and everyone is going through their own version of this. So whatever I'm going through, someone else may not feel any of that. And so we get through that situation. Girl, Game of Thrones starts playing. I'm not even lying. I hear the intro music
In
to
your
Game
head or
No, yeah,
for
in
real?
my head.
Oh,
It is Game of
okay.
because I don't know. I'm a huge fan. So all of a sudden, King's Landing, if you watch the intro and King's Landing like pops up
I
and the
love
stuff.
Game of Thrones.
Okay, so I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? Like,
Or the
Jesus.
dragon, Mother of Dragons.
No,
the
we don't get that
fire.
far. I never get past any of the rest of it. King's Landing happens.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, for those of you that are Flash fans and you remember the more recent ones where he's like running and he sees all the faces, that is now what is happening, where I'm hearing all the conversations that had happened either just within the last 48 hours to like months ago. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Things that you had compartmentalized.
I would say that, and immediately I realized like the common thread in those conversations where they were conversations that did not have resolution. And that was really trippy because I was so anxious about what was going to happen to me that when that happened, I was like, oh, okay. And then I started to kind of calm down. I was still super nervous. So, like, I'm super nervous because I think somehow the ground is unlevel when I choose to go to the bathroom because everybody's like, oh, you're going to purge, you're going to purge. And you don't really know what that's going to be like. So for me, it was like, I need to go to the bathroom. Other people are like throwing up in the woods. And I'm like, oh, God. What's going to happen? So I go to the bathroom because it's a funny moment because it's really crazy. I get inside. So people think, oh, you're going to be outside. Are you going to have to poop outside? Like, what's going to happen? They have porta potties. You're not outside, in the wilderness. It's bare, flat land. There's porta potties. There's tents. There's like a lot going on out here. So I go to the bathroom. I don't have good balance, though. Like, I am high enough for that where I'm like,
Oh, God.
And I'm like, it feels like this isn't level. It's not level. Like, and I'm like, oh, God. So then I start talking to myself like, girl, you're just bugging. It was level. You literally were outside. So I like walk outside and I look at it. I'm like, see? Like I have to have a conversation with myself to be like, calm down. You're just on this trip.
Right.
So what was crazy about that is the fact that you still fight for control.
Right. Had these out-of-body experiences almost.
Right. And so that first night, I think for me was a bit harder, where other people are immediately having the experience. I perceive them as immediately having the experience. I'm still trying to be like, I don't know where I'm at. This seems a little crazy. My balance feels off. I don't know what's going to happen next. Like all of that, instead of just allowing for it to happen. And so I get through. For me, it was, I got to go poop like every other 5. And I'm like, wow, this stuff is really, I'm about to lose 5 pounds today. Like, God. Because I was like, I've only eaten nuts and berries for a week.
And that is the thing, a part of the purge, the
It was.
cleansing. It's a mental, it's a physical, emotional.
It really is that.
Yeah.
And when they're telling you, oh, you're going to, so Trina was like, you may not throw up, but you're going to feel the need to heave. Mm-hmm. And I did. And it was just like, okay, you got to work through this. There's something that's blocking you from letting
that
go.
throat chakra.
Man.
And that's what it seems like the ayahuasca it's almost a tool to assist you in balancing your chakras.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would say that in my specific experience, it was me figuring out that there are so many things that you really don't control, that you really fight. Like you're fighting to have this perception.
Chakra,
and
which probably is why you
heart.
talk a little bit slower and you're not so quick to, hence like how you dealt with the situation coming back and how you handled
that conversation.
That. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I was like,
wait
listen.
a minute. What you on?
like-
Because I was ready. I thought you was getting ready to go banana split with a cherry on top. And
No.
you was like,
Okay, like
so this is what we're going to do. And I was like, that's it? That's all? And you was like, girl.
yeah, I don't have the space or the energy for any of that. That
1,
is
2,
all
3,
you.
4.
No.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Not necessarily. It wasn't that I didn't think it. It was just like you come back so unbothered
Yeah.
by things. You see things so much more clearly. You see people.
You realize that there's no resolution
Well,
to the situation in the moment, so you don't put forth all that energy in it.
yeah, I think before I went to it, I had already started learning that lesson of, hey, I don't have to come or I don't have to attend every argumentative party I'm invited to. But I struggled with actually not arguing.
Like Rhonda said, you don't have to eat with everybody when you know what you bring to the table.
Facts.
Period.
Matter of fact, I ain't even got to show up because I can cook at home. So, I don't have to do any of that. But at that point, I think those moments were preparing me for when I had done the ceremony. So that first night, it was a little rougher. I was heaving. And then it's kind of like in those movies where the person is going to go through this transformational experience and the person they manifest ends up in the scenario with them, like they're away from everything. I was thinking like not the Warrior Nun. I can't remember what the name of the most recent movie was that I seen that happened in. But I was looking and I was like, oh, I for a split second saw my grandmother. But then that literally a split. Like I wasn't calm enough to tap all the way in to where I could have had that experience. And so
she's deceased, right?
She is deceased.
Okay. Just
And
so
so
the viewers know that.
yeah, so I was like, dang, I was kind of looking forward to that. Like, oh, who's going to show up? Like, nobody showed up. I showed up. So it was weird because I'm struggling to, like, battle, like, trying to be somewhat in control of my faculties and everything else. And then this version of me that is super calm, like, hey, hey, girl, good to see you. Kind of a
Healed
experience.
Healed Nina showed up.
And it was just like walking alongside yourself. And I distinctly remember hearing the whole, like, hey, it's okay. Like, whatever it is, if you think you need to hold on to this, cool, you can hold on to this. But if you're ready to let it go, let's go ahead on and get to that too. We got, literally all night. Now, you're taking different dosages of the ayahuasca. So you take it, and then, like, say, another 2 hours later, you're going to have that secondary dosage of it. By the time we're at that secondary dosage of it, the me has shown up, and I am now in a place where I can actually purge. And so, and it's just like me being like, sitting there next to me talking about, hey, it's okay. You can let that go. You don't have to hold on. And I don't know what the it is that I'm holding on to, right? I just know I'm going through the experience. By the time I get through that, I am like just high. Like I am having an outer body experience all at the same time. And so Terena's like, hey, it's time for the third dose. And I was like, no, girl, I cannot get there. I am not in the space or the whatever. Like I am high as a kite as far as I'm concerned. So I'm like, I don't want to drink another shot of this. I'm good. I'm exhausted because you're trying to get through all of this emotional stuff that's going on in you. You're heaving all of this out. You're running to the bathroom every few minutes. It's a lot to go through. So I was like, girl, no, I don't even know what time it is. Because I don't have my cell phone. I don't wear a watch. I don't know what's going on. The sun is not up. The moon is still out. That's all I know. And I'm done. And she's like trying to push me to get to it. And I'm like, my body said no.
Okay, look, now you're like, I'm standing up for myself.
I was. And so then I'm like, okay. And I just wanted to rest. And so the rest of it was me kind of going through that mental sort of emotional work. The next night, because once you get done, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. The sun is up. You hear roosters crowing. And now I can see where I am. Mm-hmm. So now I know it's where they done chopped logs and all this. Like, it's a tremendous amount of wood on this place. You are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, because there's a process. So a lot of people scream and holler. So you have to be in this remote area because you don't know what everyone's trauma is. Seriously. That they are going through. And our time is getting away. So I definitely wanted to just touch bases on that experience. So when people ask, what is ayahuasca? It's a psychoactive Amazonian psychedelic that has become increasingly popular in the last few decades. It's a hallucinogenic plant mixture traditionally used in South America, Aboriginal populations for spiritual and tribal rituals. So we definitely want to always be respectful when we speak about it. I've made a few jokes and cracks, made a few laughs, but this is really a serious cultural thing. So I definitely want to pay my respects about that. And it notes that the active compounds in ayahuasca interact with the brain's serotonin system. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of what you're describing because it regulates the mood, the cognition, and the perception, and it leads to altered states of consciousness. But intense perceptual and emotional experiences.
Yeah, definitely they're using it a lot more for healing.
And I mean, just me hearing and knowing your befores and after. Yeah. And just dealing with the situations. Yeah. Vivid hallucinations like your grandmother, but nothing scary or terroristic, it's just kind of these people it really is the things that we're holding dear and near to our hearts.
Yeah, it's all of your sort of inner darkness. So for instance, as a quick note, my yoga instructor and his wife had done it. They had went down to Costa Rica to Rhythmia. Mm-hmm. And when you go there, it's like a week long of it. So you're doing about 7 of these, like 5. So you're doing about 5 nights out of the 7 nights that you're there, you're having these ceremonies. Mm-hmm. And he came back just changed because he had so much intense trauma as a child. Mm-hmm. And by the time it was all over, he was completely like healed and removed. And when I say all like love and light. Like when you hear it, you think that there's these people in a cult that say that, but it really was true. Like the energy shift was so different. And I know for me, it was just those 2 nights of doing it was like, okay, there's a different version of you that can exist. You don't have to be stressed out.
Yeah, because the benefits of ayahuasca is brain health, psychological well-being, and it does treat mental health issues. Although if you are diagnosed, we want to put this PSA out here, okay? Because we're not doctors, okay?
We're not.
That you have to be tested. Make sure that this is safe for you. Make sure that you're the shaman. Make sure these people are real. Make sure that they're educated in this process of taking you on this journey, because there are things called bad trips.
Well, and I will say this much. If they're not asking you like about, there's a health history that you have to give. Right? Because you cannot be on like heart medication. You can't be on any sort of like psychosis type drugs that, you know, keep you balanced, or like bipolar type drugs. Or you can't be on any of that.
Yeah, you cannot be bipolar
Well,
and go to ayahuasca. No,
the
no,
way
I
you
read
said it.
that.
But
No,
no,
it
but it's
says
true.
if you are diagnosed with a
Yeah.
mental illness,
those
they
drugs
will. Yeah,
are counteract. They will.
Yes,
It'll be a lot.
Yes,
So
it
they
will.
don't allow you to do that. There's certain things that you just cannot take. So if they're not asking you about that, that's probably not the place you want to go
Yeah.
to, because
Yeah.
they should be asking. They should have medical
It should not
staff.
be about just your $400, $200. But just tap into our community and just to our naysayers. And I'm seeing a lot of things here on Instagram. We have to be not so ignorant, because I think I was ignorant, textbook ignorant
I get what you're saying.
to different things, because as I researched this, I thought about, I've never done this, but I've done pearls. I've done, so I have done pearls and did a womb healing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it's kind of to me almost like the same thing. So
So when they do the vaginal steams and they put the herbs in for that.
So I did the Pangea pearls, and I did a pearl cleansing and a womb healing. And once I came out of that long relationship, I was very intentional about my body and how how I wasn't going to be allowed for it to be used as a tool
Right.
for anyone, especially for myself, and recognizing my power and, you know, just showing up as a superhero for
Yeah,
myself.
absolutely.
And I think that's what these things do. It's like we're tapping back into our cultural
Selves.
our
Yeah.
cultural selves. Christianity is so Western, you know, it's not really about us as a people.
Right.
So although you were raised in these different denominations,
Right.
it's okay to research. It's okay to
Yeah.
go outside of the box and educate yourself and not always think like the majority.
Yeah, I think it's kind of important. Like everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And think about like our entrepreneurial journeys,
Yes.
right? Like we can't be like everyone else because we'd be stuck as employees somewhere,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
So there are going to be these differences about individuals that are like, hey, my spiritual journey may be a little bit different than yours.
Yes.
Some people are into Reiki.
And understanding
Or whatever.
religion and spirituality are two totally different things.
That's
People, please,
true.
you could go to church every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday and be the devil. Okay? So being in the building don't make you spiritual, okay?
Yeah.
Calling yourself a Christian don't make you Christ-like.
We don't have drinks today. Well, I don't know what
do.
you got.
I have my
don't.
drink. I got my good margarita here. But look, time is ticking.
Yes.
I know y'all waiting for the cat out the bag.
Oh, Lord.
We got a few minutes here, so it is hot outside. I got 2 minutes here. So, hey, don't show up outside like a wolf puss. Get you some good shave cream. It's too hot in Vegas for hair everywhere. Okay? Get a little bit some. We're going to keep it all the way real. This is the naked truth, okay? Cat out the bag. Get you some good bedroom candy. Shave cream here. And always important, too, in Vegas, you got to shower 3 times.
At least.
I'm on my second one today, okay? 'Cause I was hot. I had to start all the way over again. Make sure you are using good ingredients oil, okay? Bedroom Candy is full of oils, full of shea butters. Make sure you lotion up. The UV rays are so harsh here. They will burn your skin.
Even the melanin.
Yes, even the melanin, baby. We
gets
do
burnt.
burn. That's
We
why I
do.
got a wig on, because it's too hot for blonde in the sunroof. One last thing, guys and girls. I want to let you know that last week I was singing "Thick Like Pancakes, Tastes Like Syrup." This week I'm feeling like a biscuit. I'm at 100. I'm at a good 177 pounds. So, following after this week in May, we will be doing meetups to work out. Okay, brunch
It's
bodies
about the
out,
food.
beach bodies in. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm 176 pounds. I'm 5'4".
About
I'm
the
not
food.
here.
You have to have Richard Washington on.
No more peanut butter and jelly for me sandwiches. Thank you guys for chiming in. My name is Miss Connie. You can find me at TMO Baby or Intimacy Private and Cozy Events, or right here at Hot 702.5 Risky Radio. And thank you for coming in once again, my dear friend Carmen San Diego. You can find her
At Carmen well, the other spelling. It's spelled with a Y.
right. She got it this week. She not drinking.
I was like,
CARMYN San Diego. If
Yep.
you're looking for Airbnb, hey, if you're coming in town
me.
for the
anything.
EDC,
Well,
yeah,
that too.
because she's
but
north. So
Yep. anything
Airbnb's
in
north
the
side.
Speedway. Yep.
She
Nellis.
cater to long leases, but she can work out with you too and help you out a little bit. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you even more. Please like, follow, subscribe, copy, paste, listen. We talking about shit, okay? Bye. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Do 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 do.
I think she wants you to turn something.
I did.